I'm going to say a lot of things, and some of the things may bother you, but please hear me out. Whatever I say about man applies to me, not just everybody else. So I don't wish to elevate myself above anybody else. I want to tell you first that most of the stuff you get in school is hogwash. And most of the stuff that you get at the university is not real. I'm going to elaborate on those things. And when I say that man can't think or reason, all that is a misnomer. Although you're brought up to believe we all do our thinking, we cannot think outside of our culture. Every word you use, your mother gave you: cup, table, light, papa, mama. Every word. Think about that. Every word you use has been given to you by this culture, including prejudice, bigotry, everything. There's not a human being alive today that speaks their own language. They speak the language of their culture. If you were brought up in Australia, you might say, "How are you, mate?" You might. If you're brought up in England, you speak with an English accent. If you're brought up in Germany, you speak with a German accent if you come to this country. So there doesn't appear to be any originality. I'm going to try to back it up. I spoke at Princeton University, and the head of the optics department said, "Jacque, I take issue with you. I believe man can think and reason." I said, "You have that right, but give me one example, any example, of man thinking." And he said, "There's thousands of examples." I said, "I can't do anything with that. Give me one example of man thinking." He said, "Well, there was a time," this is his words as near as I can remember, "there was a time when there was no camera. Somebody had to think of a camera." So I said, "Did you know that 1,000 years ago in the Holy Land, they made houses out of mud? They were dome-shaped. And they didn't have any glass windows, so they cut a hole in the mud, little hole. The smaller the hole, if the sun was out, you saw cows walking upside down on your wall." I don't know if you can picture that. If you go into a barn during the day, if there's a knot hole in the barn, you'll see cows walking on the wall upside down, or whatever the sun is shining on. And people used to charge 2 pieces of silver to see the upside down world on their wall, because they didn't know what made it happen. That's where the box hole camera or the pinhole camera came from. So everybody doesn't understand that. Okay. Now let's take another invention. Head of the optics department at Princeton got mad at me. He said, "I believe man can think, in spite of your example." He said to me, "If man couldn't think, there wouldn't be any moving pictures. There wouldn't be any electric light. There wouldn't be a number of different things." So I said to him, "The Chinese, about 1,000 years ago, made a girl out of cardboard." It looked something like this. Now the Chinese took a scissors and cut that out so it was a silhouette. And they put it on the table. And they put a candle in front of her. As the candle flickered, the shadow moved. Do you understand? Nobody sat down to have to make a movie. Nobody ever sat down and invented anything. There's no way you can do it.